Good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to the Institute of Sociological Studies. My name is Anne, and I'll be your course facilitator for community-based organizations. And today we are going to look at how we can coordinate community-based projects. From the picture here, so I'll be sharing my screen, and so as we move along, we'll be looking at how we can coordinate community-based projects. I believe each and every one of us comes from a community. So here is an example of what people engage in when we're dealing with community-based projects, or organizations come up with these kind of projects. So by the end of the lesson, should be able to understand the role of community-based organizations in the society. And secondly, we should appreciate the importance of organizations in community development activities, how these organizations contribute to the development in our communities. So I would like to ask, what do you expect to learn about community-based projects? Kindly have a look at this picture again. It's more of a sample from our first slide. And from this slide, we can see how this group of people are working to help, or we can see some students or pupils of a given primary school, and we can see some sanitary or menstrual products. So this is a kind of community-based project. So at the end of the lesson, should be able to identify what these people are doing and what they are doing, how does it contribute to development in our community. So what is a community? A community is referred to a geographical locality and its residents. And according to Johnson, he mentioned that community is used in our everyday language and refers to a number of people who have similar interests. For example, a sporting community or a business community. So these are examples of a community. It could be a school or an education community is also an example of a community. And according to Wilson, 1912, he also saw that communities are composed of complex economic and social processes in which individuals find the satisfaction that are not supplied within their home. So the thing is, they find satisfaction for things that are not supplied within their home. So we can define community-based organizations as social agencies that are characterized by a collection of individuals formed in a coordinated system of specialized activities. Their purpose is to achieve certain goals over an extended period of time. There's also individual membership, but this may change, but are specifically based within a single local community. So that's what defines a community-based organization. So it's within a specific local community. It's also run on a voluntary basis. That is, everything is, people just volunteer to assist in these organizations. They're also self-funded, but they get the monies to funds from local charities or local fundraising. So what are the activities that these organizations engage in? First, the main goal is to better the community in terms of improving the economic setup of the community. Such activities could be in terms of health and social welfare. They initiate, come up with health facilities and water systems to help in places where there is scarcity. There is also home improvement, that is, they can come up with settlement structures, and these help also improve the source of income and lifestyle for those people. You can imagine having a better home. That means you live more comfortably as compared to if you're living in substandard house or environment. There was also better businesses, which in most cases result to at least some profits. So if you have a business, you get a profit, that means you have a better life or a better living standard. There are also sources of employment to young people that can be self-employed. So you see, if you engage in a community-based project, or if you run a small business or an enterprise, you end up earning some money. So you become self-employed. And that means we'll have few cases of people who are aimlessly working in the community. So the joint efforts between members also lead to better production. Let's say, for instance, communities that are agricultural based, that means people, when they come together, let's say a group of women, men, youth, means that they can join hands and learn better production activities through training and even better farming practices. It also leads to social enjoyment for the members. For instance, if we come up with a community-based organization or a project, that means you'll have to find leaders or people who will coordinate these projects. And at the end of the day, these people gain leadership roles. And that is now how community-based organization help in coming up with social enjoyment for the people. Some of the importance of CBO, also they initiate new and small-scale projects. That's because we say they work within a local community. They also fosters people's self-reliance. That means you don't have to depend on someone else. You become better, and then you can work on your own. You depend on yourself. That's what you call self-reliance. They also emphasize on community participation because they are owned by the community. Like we say, they are locally arranged groups. And through these projects, we have leadership roles that come in place. That means it encourages community participation. They also develop human resources, including local leadership. That's we've mentioned, and they focus on community level. That's also we've mentioned. So the main aim is for localized community development. So in summary, what do you have to say? Our community-based organizations are non-governmental organizations. You can look at this chart, would be our summary of what we've discussed. We're to look at the role of community-based organizations and the activities that could promote development within the community. So first, they are non-governmental because we say these are local arrangements or local organizations within the community. So they are non-governmental. They are not government organizations. They are community-owned as well. It's owned by local people. They're autonomous. That means they're independent. They run independently. It's community. There is no interference or outside interference from even the members themselves, because as an organization, it can be used to fundraise. The organization can fundraise, it can employ. That means it's independent. They are permanent, that is, they are lifelong. Once they've been registered, that is here by the Ministry of Sports, Gender and Social Services. For example, here in Kenya, we have the Ministry of Sports and Social Services. That is where people can register a community-based organization. Once you register, you have a membership number and the activities that you do, then you can do that activity as long as you can, or the organization can stay as long as it can. It's permanent, it's not like the certification is temporary. Your offer feedback to stakeholders, that is, once you have a functional organization, you have people who have an interest, like local leaders. You also have education stakeholders if you're working within the education sector, or agricultural stakeholders if you're working within the agricultural sector. So it depends. But at the end of the day, each of these organizations has a person or an individual, an institution that will have an interest in this, in the activities that they are doing. But so it means if you get support, you need to give feedback in terms of reporting of the actions that you've done. As well as to even the members, we give them feedback on how the organization is currently going. They also say that, sorry for that, they are run on a voluntary basis. Yeah, everything is voluntary. You're not coerced. It's up to you to see if you want to be a part of a member or a part of the community organization. You're never forced to be one. If you want to quit as well, it's also your choice. So that is what community-based organizations. So if we could go back to our slide, our first slide, at least, let's see what these people are doing. You see they're distributing masks to school children as during the COVID-19 pandemic. Secondly, here, we see another group also distributing menstrual products to primary school pupils to help them be in school. So these are examples of community-based activities. Thank you for your time and have yourself a nice day. It's been fun being with you. That marks the end of our lesson. See you and bye-bye.